Hey guys, Joseph here. Now in this video I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit unique, but it's basically looking at every campaign and basically saying what their standout weapon is. Now basically I'll be looking at each faction and I'll be saying what weapon stands out the most, basically. Like what is by far, not the most powerful weapon, but it's the weapon that basically makes the campaign, like that's really powerful in the campaign. Now if you saw my last video, which was on like every campaign's ranked, you'll know that there was a few campaigns that basically got, I put some weapons in the in the channel, when in the pros and cons. I said, these are pros. And that's basically what I'm looking at. What weapons are kind of like standouts for their campaigns. Anyways, that being said, let's move on. We'll start with Moscow, obviously, and then work our way to Stalingrad. For Moscow Soviet, there was no question. It has to be the PPSH-41. One of, if not the best SMGs in the game. What can you say about this that hasn't already been said? 71 rounds in the drum. Very powerful. Okay at, basically, domination at close range. It's okay at medium range, but it loses its effectiveness at medium range. Very good. Brutally dominating weapon, and arguably the most, the standout weapon of Moscow allies, and probably the most dominant weapon in Moscow, actually, to be honest. Anyways, let's move on to Moscow Axis. For Moscow Axis, it was actually quite difficult to pick, but I decided to go with the MG13. Now, the reason I went with the MG13 is because, let's face it, this is essentially what the BAR is in Normandy. It's a very good close-range LMG that can be used pretty much in all circumstances, really. You throw this anywhere, it will be good. It's good. And it dominates at close range, it's good at mid-range, and it's good at long range. What can you say about it? Now, there are some other options for this, such as the MKB. Obviously, most people would probably go for the MKB or even the new 39M, and I think the 39M would probably be a good comparison. But I'm going with the classic MG13. Also, it's very easy to upgrade as well because it's only a 1-star weapon. It's only a tier 1 weapon, so you can upgrade it quite easily, which is something that other standout weapons don't have. Now, like I said, these aren't the best weapons in each campaign. These are the standout weapons. These are the weapons that basically, stand out and are probably the most powerful, in a vacuum, are the most powerful weapons. Oh, God. Filming a video here, invert. But, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to move on to Normandy. Coming in for the Allies is actually the Browning M1919A6. Now, the A6 is a very, very, very powerful weapon. Now, the reason it's so good is, well, basically, it basically performs like a BAR, but it has the magazine and the fire rate of something like, say, the the MG34, really. It's basically like, imagine if you take the bar and the MG34 and give it 100 rounds. That's basically what you got with this thing. And, for being honest, it's a fucking powerful weapon, okay? The reason I'm saying it's a standout weapon is because, well, it's the most powerful weapon for Normandy in general. But also, it gives the Allies something which they don't have, which is a really powerful long-ranged LMG, which is pretty versatile. Like, this thing is very versatile. And there's not really much to say, really. It's powerful and it's versatile. Again, it is only locked to gunners, which is a problem with it, unlike other classes, unlike other weapons, which can be used by multiple classes. But in terms of just how, general how good it is, it's a good standout weapon for the Allies. Anyways, let's move on to the Axis. Coming in for the Axis is the FG-42. Now, the FG-42 isn't even the best weapon for the Axis. I would say there's a lot of other better weapons for the Axis than the FG. However, the FG is the standout weapon and the most infamous weapon because while it's not the powerful, it's the most versatile weapon in the game. You can use it on essentially anyone. The only class which doesn't allow for this is a class like the, I believe the assaulters and gunners are the only two classes, and snipers are the only three classes that can't actually use this, as well as vehicle crews, but no one cares about vehicle crews. This thing is overpowered, to say the least. I've made a video on why the FG is overpowered. Still holds true to this day. Lots of ammo. Well, not much ammo. Lots of kill potential, basically. This thing doesn't have much ammo, but this thing has a lot of killing potential. Especially if you equip these, if you know what to do. I mean, there's a reason why this is considered dirty. And while it isn't the best rifle in the game, it's up there with one of the most powerful. It's just how generally powerful it is. It's not the most powerful weapon, but it's a standout weapon because of how versatile it is. Anyways, let's move on to Berlin Soviets. For the Soviets, it's the PPSH again. Same reason for Moscow. It's the PPSH. Great in pretty much all circumstances. Just great. Now there is the FA. There is the FA, which is unlocked a little bit later than this. But the thing is, the FA. I mean, it's okay, but I think the PPSH just offers more than the FA. The FA is still a fantastic weapon, don't get me wrong. And I can't wait to use it. But the PPSH, come on, this thing just dominates. And there's a reason why this thing is still is considered... there's a reason why this thing was considered the best SMG of the war. Anyways, let's move on to the Axis. I hate to sound repetitive, but it's the FG again. But this time it's the FG-42-2. Now, the 2 is basically just a better version of the FG. It's got reduced recoil, and that's about it. And it has a better scope, actually. So, yeah. So, a better scope and better recoil. It's basically just, just what I said about the FG in Normandy. It's very versatile. Not the best weapon in Berlin, but it's the most versatile, which is why it's the standout weapon of Berlin. Anyways, let's move on to Tunisia. Oh boy. Coming in for the standout weapon of Allies Tunisia is the number 4T. Now, the number 4T is, of course, it's the number 4 rifle, but with a scope on it. Now, it also has a detachable mag, but the reason it's a standout is, well, it's the best sniper rifle in the game, pretty much. Best bolt action sniper in the game. I mean, the number 4 is the best bolt action in the game, but anyways. What really, I think, makes the Model T so good is it just, it's a really good sniper rifle in a campaign that's built around long-range combat. So it has to be the standout weapon in the campaign. Like, there's not really... I mean, Tunisia pretty much is the long-range campaign and, the most open campaign, so... Obviously, its standout weapon is going to be something like the number 4. Anyways, let's move on to the Axis. For the Axis, it's actually a little bit weird, but it's the Beretta M1. Now, the M1 is an okay SMG. It's a really good SMG, and it does hold its own. But what makes it really good is its low price cost, and the reason it's a standout is the low price cost. Again, like the MG13, it's a tier 1 weapon, so you get 4 stars, obviously, is very easy to get. You can get maxed up Beretta M1s very easily, and this thing performs relatively well against almost all engagements. And it's not even that bad. It's a very good SMG. It's pretty much on par with the M38, so which is the late game unlock. So yeah, very good. Anyways, let's move on to Stalingrad, finally. For the Allies, it was too easy. It's the PPSH. The Soviets, I mean, do you blame it? I mean, the PPSH obviously is just too powerful for... I mean, it's the PPSH. What can you say about it? I've literally already said it twice, so let's continue on to what the Axis in Stalingrad's best weapon is. Surprisingly, it's actually not the MP717, but it's actually the MKB. Now, the MKB, the reason is versatility again. Now, it can be used by both engineers and it can be used by assaulters, which is really good because you can have many assaulter squads. You can have multiple assaulter squads and multiple engineer squads running MKBs which, yeah, that's just dirty powerful, which is why it's coming in as Stalingrad's standout weapon. Now there is of course a scoped version, but I think the scoped version doesn't have the versatility as the unscoped version, which is why that's coming in as the standout weapon. Obviously, of course, I could have mentioned the MG13 and the MP717, which are on other campaigns as their standout weapons, but it had to be the MKB. It had to be. This thing was being complained about before the game before Stalingrad even came out. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video.